This video is going to practice finding domain and range with continuous functions. Right here is one of our functions, and we need to find the domain and range. I guess first we need to remind and talk about the fact of what is domain. Oh, let's see. Let me get my pen going here. Domain is going to be your x values. Range is going to be your y values. So when I come over here, the first thing I'm going to do to try and help me is so that I don't see all this excess stuff. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bring my boxes. I made some boxes here, and I'm going to kind of box in my problem so that I can just focus on the part that I need and not all the extra numbers. It's not something you have to do. This is just a tool in order to help you see the numbers maybe a little bit better. Sometimes once you catch on, you're not going to have to. So as we go through here and we go to find our domain, we know that our domain is x, and we're always going to point our arrows to the left. Now we're going to do that because we're going to put the smallest number here on the left and the larger one on the right. Okay, so as we look at our graph, looking here, I've got my domain goes from left to right. The farthest to the left, my point goes right here, is -2. So I'm going to put -2 over here. And it covers all the way over here till +2. So I'm going to put the larger number right there. Now the only thing else we have to add is that when we have a colored in dot, a closed in circle, that means equal to. Closed in circle means equal to. So back here where I was making, it wasn't here, let's see, when I was making notes, I would also add in here that if on my graph I have a closed circle, this is equal to. So you're going to have that less than and equal to. If it is an open circle, it is not equal to. So you'll just have this symbol right here. Okay, let's go back here. Now if we go and look at the same one, but now we want to find the range. We know that range is the y, so I'm going to put range here, and we're going to have a y. I'm going to put the less than symbols. Now let's look, because range goes up and down. The lowest it goes to, right here, if you look, is -3. So I'm going to put -3 here. The highest up here goes to 3. Now it's a closed-in circle, so I'm going to put an equal to. Up here at 3, it's a closed-in circle, and I'm going to put equal to. Okay, let's try the next one. Pause the video and come back and see if you can find the domain and range. Alright, so I'm going to go and I'm going to take my blocks, I'm going to put them around my graph. Down here. Right there. Okay, so now to find my domain, I know that domain is x. So I'm going to put the x in the middle because it's going to be between, the x is going to be between these numbers. It starts here at -3 and it goes all the way over here to 1. So it starts at -3. Let me put my arrows in here. Starts at -3 and it comes all the way over here and it stops at 1. Well, now I'm going to look at -3. It's an open circle, so it stays like this. Over here at 1, it's a closed-in dot, so I'm going to put equal to. The next one we're going to find is the range. Range is the y. Let me put my symbols in here. Y goes up and down. The lowest down here that it's at is -2. And the highest, it's not up to this point, it's even higher than that. It's up here at +2. Now down here at -2, it's an open circle. So I'm going to leave it like this. Now when I go up here to 2, it's on the line, so I'm going to put the equal to sign right there. Alright, let's pause the video and come back and see if you can find out the domain and range for this one. So right here, let's see if I can bring this over here maybe and box in my work here. We have not talked about one thing that is on this, which is that arrow key. Okay, arrow is going to be infinity. Okay, so that might help you right here where there's that arrow. So let me continue this out. All right. Again, those boxes are not, it's not mandatory, but it's one of those things that it's just a tool to help you. Domain. We know that domain is the x. My arrows are going to point to the left. The x, the farthest over here it starts at, is -3. So I'm going to put -3 here. And as I continue on this line and I keep going, I come out here. Now look, I might say it's 5, but it's not. Because of this arrow right here, it's infinity. And the way we write infinity is an 8 on its side. So let me make a note here. This right here is infinity. Now, this is an open circle at -3, so I leave it alone. Now you're going to leave infinity, you're going to leave it as a less than symbol because technically you can't ever reach infinity. It's kind of just a concept so that you can't ever touch it, so you're never actually going to equal infinity. So we just leave that alone with that less than symbol. Now with the range, I have my y. There's my less than. I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm going to come all the way up here. Now at the bottom, this is down here at -1. And it is on the line of the graph, so we're going to put equal to. As I go up here, it says 5. Well, it's not 5 because, see, remember that arrow? This means it keeps going and going and going to infinity and beyond, my favorite Buzz Lightyear. So this will be the domain and range. Here's the next one. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to box in my work. Oh, let's see here. And let's see, I'm boxing in the other one. Right here. Okay. Now on this one, again, we're going to find the domain. The domain is the x. I'm pointing it to the left, right here for the less than. The x-axis, here's a point. It starts all the way out here at -2, and it goes all the way out here to 4. Now, out here at -2, it's a colored-in circle. It's so it's equal to. Out here, it's an open dot, so it stays like that at 4. So now I have the range. The range is the y. I will point my arrows. It goes up and down. The lowest point it's down here at is -3, and there is a colored in dot, so I'm going to put equal to. Then I go all the way up here. There is a dot right there. It's at 2, and I'm going to leave it alone because it's an open circle, so I just leave it as I just wrote it. Next one. Pause the video, come back and see how you do. I'm going to box in my answers here, or not my answers, my graph, sorry. That's what happens when you make all these videos. You get kind of lost in what you're doing trying to multitask here. Okay, so now here is my boxed in work. I'm going to start here with the domain. The domain is x. I'm going to point it with the less than. X goes from left to right. The farthest to the left is -3. Well, right here you see it's an open circle, so I'm going to leave it with the less than. I come all the way out here to 5. Now let's look up here. Oh, there's the arrow. So that means infinity. And remember, you can never actually touch infinity, so it stays as less than. Now for the range. I have the y. It is the less than symbol. Y goes up and down. It starts here at the bottom at -1. I've got the equal to symbol. I come all the way up here. It's up there at that arrow, so that arrow is infinity. Next one. Pause the video. Come back and see how you do. All right, and I'm building my little blocks to go around our graphs. Oh, it's not being friendly here. All right, there we go. Now, again, let's go with the domain. Domain is X. You better figure that one out right there, and that our arrows are pointing this way. For right now, that just means, because as long as we have a small number over here. Here's my X, and I'm looking here at -2. Okay, so I put -2. It's a closed-in circle, so it means equal to. It comes all the way out here to 4, and it is a dot right there, so it's a 4. But because it's an open circle, I leave it alone. Then I have the range. The range is Y. My arrows point to the left. Range is up and down. The lowest point down here, these both are at -3. So I'm going to put -3. And since one is colored in and one is not, if at least one of them is colored in, it means equal to, so I put the equal to bar. Now I go all the way up. It goes up to the very tip top right here, and that's at 3. Since that is on the actual line, it is equal to. Next one. Pause the video, come back and see how you do. Okay, here we go. Now, my domain is X. I'm going to point my inequality symbols, my less than. X goes from left to right. The leftmost point is -2, all the way over to the right, which is +2. This has a colored in circle, so it means equal to. This has a colored in circle, it means equal to. Range. Range is the Y. I have my less than symbols right here. The lowest point it comes down here to is -1. Since it's on the line, it is equal to. It goes all the way up here to 3, and you see they have colored in circles, so I'm going to have equal to 3. My next one, oh, I jumped ahead here. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. And I am boxing in my answers. Not my answers, why do I keep saying that? I'm boxing in my inequality to help me see what I'm looking for. Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to find my domain. Again, my domain is X. I'm going to point my arrows to the left. X goes from left to right. It starts out here at -3, and it's an open circle, so I'm just going to leave it as -3. Comes all the way out here to 1. It's a colored in one, solid one, so it's equal to 1. Range. Range we know is Y. Put in our less than symbols. Range goes up and down. The lowest it starts at is -3. And the highest we go up to is 2. Now I'm missing something because at 3 it's a colored in circle, so I have the equal to bar. Up here I don't because I have an open circle. Here's the next one. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. Boxing in my answers. Oh, why do I keep saying that? I keep saying that every time, don't I? Boxing in my graph. Goodness gracious. So here we go. All right, we are going to find our domain. Our domain is X. It is pointing to the left. The leftmost point over here is -3. It is an open circle. All the way over here to the right, which is 1. It is a closed-in circle, so it's equal to. The range, again, it is Y. Point my less than symbols. Y goes up and down. It starts all the way on the line right here at -3, so it's equal to -3. And it goes all the way up here to +3 on the line, so it's equal to +3. Here's the, oh, I There we go. Here's the last one on this one until I have something else for you. Try and find it out and come back and see how you did. I am making my boxes. Aha, I said making my boxes this time. I didn't sit there and say boxing in my answers. Finally remembered. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to find my domain. My domain is X. They're pointing to the left. X is from left to right. Over here it starts at -3, but it's an open circle, so I leave that alone, and it's -3. All the way out here to 5, but look, it's an arrow, so that means infinity. Range, I have y less than, let's see, we'll go right here. We go all the way down here to -2, and it's an open circle, so I leave it at -2. And I'll go up here to the topmost point, and it's a +2. Now, since it's on the line, it's equal to. Okay, well, let's try another extension, though. Let's try this. What if I said, try and graph this, where, okay, here we go. I'm going to give you inequalities, and I want you to try and graph them and to make your own graph. Okay, well, I'm going to have to, I did not prepare myself for this. I'm just going to draw mine just like you probably would. You like that crazy line? You know what? I bet I can do better than that. I can make my own straight lines here. I just have to figure out the smartboard here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to draw a straight line here and a straight line across. All right, here we go. Now, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Just drawing these slashes. They may not be perfect, but they'll suit the purpose for right now. Okay. Well, let's look at this. I've got X is, it starts over here at -1, so I'm going to make a little mark here. -1, and it ends at 3. And the y's, it can, let's see, it says 0. So, starts down here and it goes up to 4. One of the ways I could do this, now this is not the only way, but one of the ways I could do this is I'm going to put an open circle on this one. And let's see, 3 and 4. Ooh, here's a problem. I made it tricky right here because those are two different things here. I mean, like this has an equal to, and this has, it doesn't have an equal to. So up somewhere at 4, let's see, say that, let's see, at 4, it has to have an open circle. And we could do something like this. We could come up here and make a curve. Oh, nope, not far enough. Hold on. Now this one, this takes a little bit more thought process right here. Up here at 4, and I guess I can't go over here. Let's see here. Let's try this. The y goes up to 4, but at 3, let's see. I'm making it more difficult on myself. I don't know. Maybe you at home you're doing better because I'm thinking of this too. Because I'm trying to figure out, and maybe when I made this, I didn't make it very well. I know, and like I said, this is baffling me a little bit here. So this is over here at 3. X is at 3, and it's a closed dot. And Y is at 4, so it goes up to 4. But it's an open circle. Maybe it's not well, let's see here. I don't think, you know what, I'm gonna add this on here. Let's do it this way. Let's make it, and if you found a better way, why don't you see if you can tag something on here, and if you could use the other inequality. So let's go over here to 3, and up to 4. And I'm going to put a colored in dot right there. And I'm going to draw a line. And I know it's not a straight, well, I guess I could make a straight line. I could just go up here to my little doohickey and make a straight line to connect these dots like that, but making sure that I use an open circle here. Okay. So this tends to be a little bit more challenging. If you can come up with these inequalities and draw a graph, especially if you're in my class, come up with an inequality and I want you to draw it and for the domain and ranges and bring it to me and let me see. That would be my challenge to you.